Welcome to the video. So I'm going to be telling you 20 things that I learned about cycling in my first year. Now in my first year of cycling, I've ridden over 5,500 miles. I've also made 63 videos on cycling. So do go and check some of them out. So I've got a lot to say, some good tips, some good tricks, some good hacks, some things that will help you. So first are two things that are potentially going to hurt. Number one is your bank balance and number two is your arse. Now cycling is expensive. We all know that, but I've got some tips and tricks later on in this video that will help you reduce the cost of this wonderful sport. Number two, your arse. If you do not wear padded shorts, your arse is going to hurt. Don't be afraid to get them on. You don't want to be that person that's like, I don't wear lycra, Before you know it, your arse is really sore or glowing like a light bulb because it hurts. I've been there. First 5 months, didn't use them. Swap to them, different world. Your body is stronger than your brain. What do I mean by this? Your brain is a limitation, your body is not the limitation. You can cycle further than you think, you can push your body harder than you think, and your body will reward you if mentally you can push yourself there. Having done a ride that was 131 miles, I never thought I would do that in my first year of cycling. So mentally, I wasn't there, but physically, I was there. Obviously, take your time. You will progress and you will get better. How to find the best cycle routes. Now this is actually quite an important one because to me it's very freeing being out on the bike. I enjoy it, it's good for my mind, body and soul, and part of that is actually finding the best cycle routes possible, the best roads, and it's super relaxing going through the countryside. So there's various ways I've done that, various apps that I've used. I have done other videos, do check them out on my channel about finding the best cycle routes. But honestly, once you master how to find good routes, you can then enjoy the riding even more than before. Takes a little planning, but once you get it, perfect. Expect the unexpected. Cars, other animals, other cyclists. You can assume if you want, but that's a dangerous road to go down. So expect the unexpected because things come out of the blue and it's in those split seconds where if you're expecting it, you can react a bit quicker and it's safer. So that's one thing I've learned. Having had a few deer run out in front of me in country roads, having had various cars, cyclists, pedestrians walk out in front of me cycling through London. So expect the unexpected, people. Humans do weird and wonderful things. Everything there is to know about the Strava app. Now I did a 25-minute video on the Strava app. I went through every aspect of the app. Now I use this to track all my rides, and actually learning the app inside out helped me with my sort of training, my progression. Also seeing what other people do on the app. You can then take the rides that other people do on the app. So if you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description below. But that is something I would definitely do. Make good use of the apps you are using. It's about doing, not thinking about doing. Now it's easy to sit there and procrastinate, but you can tell your future self, I will do that in 2 days' time. But the reality is, if you want to go and get the miles in, you've got to get up and you've got to do it. Easier said than done, I know. It's currently winter here in the UK, so I have the same problems myself. I'm not excluding myself from that bracket of people. However, if you procrastinate, actually what happens is you set your goals too high, you're thinking about doing too much. And reality, just getting out on the bike and pushing the pedals a little bit is so much better than just sitting procrastinating. And at the end of the day, we all feel better after our ride, so I know exactly how you guys and girls feel. So less thinking, more doing. Heated inner soles are the best thing since sliced bread. Now I suffer from cold feet, really cold feet, and actually these have changed my whole approach to riding in the winter. I can get 4 hours plus of good heat from them. My feet aren't boiling hot, but they're not cold at all. So certainly think about investing in those if you struggle keeping your extremities warm. Cycling clubs will help you improve. Now I joined the Black Cyclists Network this year. I've done many club rides with them, and there's many aspects of riding with other people who are more experienced, have more knowledge than you, that will help you progress as a rider. Now they help me loads of different ways. Understand the sport as a whole, understand how they race, things like chain gangs, pace lines, drafting, riding safer on the roads, riding closer to other people on the roads, other cyclists. And also it's a community where you can help each other on. Someone will understand something better than you here, so they can help you, and equally you can give back. So it's a cycle, right? And pun intended, not. So it's a cycle, and you're going to help each other and you will all progress together. And also another thing with that is the motivation behind it. We said about procrastination. When you've got a group of people that are turning up every Saturday to a group ride, It's motivating for you to go. You know you're going to get something out of it. You know you're going to improve. You see different bikes, different people, talk about the sport. So cycling clubs, if you're not part of one, do consider it if there is one near you. Diet is more important than you think. If you want to improve on the bike, you have to improve off the bike. Now, diet is something I've always focused on because to me personally, I feel like having a good diet is part of having a healthy lifestyle, which plays into cycling and other aspects of my life. But actually on the bike and the way you fuel for your rides and what you eat is going to have a huge effect on your progress. From my perspective, what I would say is do what is right for you and try different things. Just because you've been doing something a long time doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. Explore new avenues, see how your body reacts and go from your personal feeling with your diet. So you are what you eat, peeps? Well, not quite, don't really agree with that statement, but you get my drift. Treat your machine well and it will treat you well. What do I mean by this? If you maintain your bike and you treat it well, you wash it, you keep it clean, you keep it lubricated, keep it well oiled, then it is going to treat you well in return. Now, if like me, you're riding out on the road, then there are chances are you might hit speeds 20, 30 miles per hour. If you're doing that on a machine that's a little bit rusty, with a few loose bolts, then that's not the best idea in terms of safety. Also, if you're going out on 30-mile rides, you don't want your bike to fail on you and you have to get an Uber back. No one wants to be that person, do they? So treat your bike well and it will treat you well in return. Appreciate the danger when cycling. Now, this is something I've taken from my motorbiking days. It is dangerous cycling. People say to you, what's it like riding through London? Isn't it dangerous? Yes, it is dangerous. I think the worst thing you can do is just say, no, it's not dangerous and not think about it, right? Appreciate that they are there and then act accordingly. If you know pedestrians are likely to walk out into the road, then make sure you're ready to brake. Because at the end of the day, if you hit them, it doesn't matter whose fault it is, you've still crashed. There are various things on the road that can catch you out, and it is dangerous. But appreciate the danger and you are less likely to have an accident. How to fuel correctly for longer rides. Now this year I done 4 rides over 100 miles, I done 16 rides over 50 miles. And in those rides, I actually worked out what worked well for me, what I liked to eat, what was easy to carry with me, what I needed at certain points in the ride. Do experiment, again, see how your body reacts to different things that you eat. That's exactly what I done, and I feel like I found a kind of happy medium. Find a good place to train or a location you don't mind going to regularly to just pump out the miles. Now, if you want to progress on the bike, you've got to put a lot of miles in. And a lot of the time you're riding the same roads. If you have certain roads, certain rides that you don't mind doing, I've got a 34-mile ride that I love. Every time I go and do it, I think, you know what, this is brilliant. So if you have places like that for you, then it makes it easier to go and pump the miles out. I also have the Velodrome outside track here in London, which is 1 mile long. On that, I can time myself, I can pace myself, there's no interruptions. So these 2 locations alone, I've spent hours and hours riding. I've done over 210 laps of the Velodrome this year. So having good places to train and places you don't mind riding, it's going to help you pump the miles out and help you improve. Invest in good tools and expand your mechanical knowledge. Now again, this ties back in to the first point about cost. Now if you have the tools, yes, there is the initial investment, but once you have those tools, you can then do the jobs over and over again. And if you have the mechanical knowledge, you not only can you do them, you understand how your machine works so that you can ride it efficiently. And you don't have to rely on other people, other bike mechanics, which are also expensive. So it's a good way to reduce the cost. Riding indoors is boring when compared with riding outside. Now, there are ways to alleviate that boredom, such as using Zwift, going on Zoom calls. But for me personally, I have found it a little bit boring riding on the turbo trainer. It doesn't matter if I use Zwift, whatever I'm doing, listening to music. It's just not as fun. And that for me is because going out on a ride is very freeing. Getting fresh air, seeing the countryside, all of those aspects are taken away. And it was only this year, this winter actually, when those were taken away and I started riding on the turbo, that I realised how much I just enjoyed going out. So takeaways from that. Appreciate the summer months because it is glorious riding in the summer. We have loads and loads of light. It's light until 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's warm. You don't have to put loads of clothes on. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it's there. 2, the winter months are harder, and set realistic goals. I set unrealistic goals for the winter because I thought I could just continue my momentum and continue progressing through winter, when in reality it's just not the same. I can't go on the turbo trainer for 5 hours. No one's doing that. So the winter is more about maintenance, the summer is about progression from me. Maybe this will change in the future, but right now that's my motivation. Celebrate your wins, people. Now, a lot of people progress on the bike and I think forget to sort of say to themselves, you know what, I've come a long way this year. I've ridden much further than I thought I would, or I felt much better on that ride. Or maybe you tackled a hill that you weren't able to do. Maybe you beat your best time and you keep improving. If you're doing well, make sure you reward yourself. Just do you. That is one of the best things about cycling. It is just you and your machine. You don't have to be pressured by other people. You don't need other people to go and ride. It is literally just you and what you want to do. That's something that I've really enjoyed, having come from team sports. That cycling, I can just go out whenever I want, however I want, how far I want, how slow I want, how quick I want. All of those things are enjoyable, so enjoy it. Don't feel pressured by other people. Don't feel like you've got to overexert yourself doing rides that you can't do yet. Do you, people, and enjoy doing you. So that is my roundup of 20 things that I've learned in my first year of cycling. If you did like the video, smash the like button, big thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released. Until next time, beautiful people, self-love, safe riding.